Hey everybody, welcome back to my unprocessed life. I'm headed back from work, headed back to the house, and it's been a pretty uneventful day. Pretty much the day went as expected. I had a protein bar for breakfast along with some water. Had I think a liter of water today, and then I had my spinach veggie wrap for lunch along with a couple pickles. And that's pretty much all I've had today. So now I'm gonna head home, and I'm starving. So I'm gonna have to find something to eat there at the house, and then get ready to see about if we're ready for everything to start doing the green smoothies tomorrow. Because if we are, then tomorrow will be green smoothie day. But I still got to check all the logistics as far as making videos and what I ate in a day and all that kind of stuff. So a little bit of a challenge there. But once I get that solved, we'll be starting the green smoothie-ness. What else? Really there hasn't been a whole lot going on today in regards to eating and all that kind of stuff. It's been pretty low-key because work's been really busy. I did post some things over on Instagram. You can go over there, of course. For those of you, this may be the first time that you're hanging out with me. Pretty much everything that I eat in a day, I post over on Instagram unless I forget to do it, which happens is, well, not as frequently, but it does happen. Sometimes I just forget. Odds are I'll forget to post whatever dinner is. I'm usually pretty bad about posting dinner. Sometimes I remember, sometimes I don't. But I do have a couple hundred posts over there of food, that I've eaten throughout the last few months, and you can see what I talk about there as well, if that's something you would like to do, at least until we start making more videos of the food and so forth. And sometimes I don't post the same, like if I'm not going to post a picture of a protein bar every single day if that's what I'm having for breakfast. That gets to be a little bit lame, I think, for you guys, because then you're like, well, I don't need to see the same protein bar, for 4 days in a row, because it's always going to be the chocolate peanut butter protein bar from Cliff Bar. So why would you need to have that many pictures of the same one? So I usually don't do that. If it's different, then I will, so you kind of get an idea. But I've been reading up a lot on fermented foods because we're trying to tackle the probiotic question as to what's the best method of making sure that your microbiome is fed correctly, and what will get us the right probiotics for the healthiest body possible. So there are the over-the-counter probiotics, and a lot of those are actually dairy-based. And in fact, one of the probiotics that I had heard so much about, I'd even heard about it on the Rich Roll podcast. He had been interviewing someone who does the study in the microbiome, and she was talking about a probiotic called VSL3, and it was how great it was and so forth, and we got some, and I couldn't tell from the initial literature, but when I dug down deep I could tell that it was actually dairy based, and so we pretty much cut out all of the dairy based probiotics. We cut out everything dairy in our lives that we can, so that kind of cuts that one out. So we were looking for different probiotics, and one of the things about homemade fermented foods is that they can have lots of probiotics. So your typical probiotics are going to have somewhere between anywhere from 1 to 450 billion bacterias for your gut. You can actually make homemade sauerkraut that will have the biome, the microbes in, the bacteria in the trillions instead of in the billions. So, and not in like 10 trillion as opposed to, just a lot more. And so I've been looking at fermented foods, how that fits in with raw food versus cooked food, and how not only fermented foods, but what probiotics over the counter would be good over the counter probiotics, which ones wouldn't be. I looked specifically, and this isn't a review of probiotics, so you know, some of the ones that are more pronounced, I say pronounced, but some of them that are more popular, that's the word I was looking for. Some of them that are more popular are dairy based, or are not nearly as good as what we might think they would be. I've seen one that keeps popping up on a number of different websites and so forth, and really, they're, from what I can tell, the reviews by the people that know are not that good, and they're dairy based. Because the cultures, the bacteria cultures, are grown in dairy, and then there's some of them that aren't, like the soil-based ones, and those are the ones that are kind of piquing my interest right now. And so I'm kind of trying to do a little bit of research to try to figure out what we are going to be most comfortable with in our lives, as far as, you know, do we want to do sauerkraut as you know, sauerkraut and kimchi and things like that that we make at home, or do we want to do a combination of both, some of the over-the-counter ones versus as well as. So those are things that I've been kind of looking into today, thinking about trying to figure out how, you know, what's going to be the best solution, and kind of go from there, because I know that, you know, I've done a lot of damage to my gut flora over the years, and I know that I need to try to find a way to clean that up, and trying to figure out the best way to do that is sometimes a challenge. Especially it's a challenge if you're trying to figure out how to do it in a way that fits into your philosophies as well. So for instance, you know, no dairy fitting into the veganism philosophy, or soil-based as opposed to dairy-based, because you believe that the microbes in the soil are superior. I mean, there are a number of different things to think about and consider when you're doing that. So I've been looking into that. I haven't come to an answer at this point, but it's a good discussion point that Stark Raving Raw and I will have when I get home. So, which I'm almost there. So I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you all for spending some time with me. I appreciate it so much. I appreciate the time that you spend with me, because I know that you have lots of other choices out there, and you know, you can go so many things. There's just so many things taking your attention these days, and the fact that you would just spend a few minutes with me is really humbling, and I really appreciate it. So thank you. You can catch me over on my Instagram account, my unprocessed.life. Also, if you want to, you can email me, myunprocessedlife@gmail.com. Of course, you know, we love it if we get comments down below. You can like and share the videos, which helps us out. Of course, if you want to see when these videos come out, subscribe. There's usually 2 videos a day during the week, and sometimes some on the weekends. So until next time, y'all have a great day, and thanks for joining me on My Unprocessed Life.